Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Can these absolute dopes, for once in their lives, just answer the damn question? I mean, my goodness. One question. Answer and address one thing honestly, please. Of course, we know that it'll never happen, and of course you know exactly who I'm referring to. The circus clowns currently occupying the White House. We know that they can't answer a question because if they do, it's going to spell big trouble for them. If they actually address the truth, it spells doom, it spells the demise of the Democrat establishment currently in charge. But folks, I don't know if running away, I don't know if ignoring the problems, I don't know if obfuscating and refusing to answer questions is really gonna change anything. At the end of the day, all you're doing is slowing the bleeding, but eventually you're still gonna bleed out. You know, in a certain way, maybe just rip the band-aid off. Just tackle the issues head on, admit the truth, and move forward. Instead of this slow-moving disaster that continues to unfold before our very eyes. And each and every single week it gets more and more frustrating as we watch these Biden regime goons making complete fools of themselves during every public interview that they do in the media. And this week it's Karine Jean-Pierre. I mean, I don't know what these leftoids are thinking. They tried Kamala Harris, they tried Joe Biden, they tried Nancy Pelosi, and they thought to themselves, who's the most talented of us all? The greatest speaker, the greatest debater. The light went off in their head and they said, we know, Karine Jean-Pierre. What an absolute disaster, folks. As the Democrats continue to crumble ahead of the midterm elections, let me show you guys what's going on here. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so take a look at this. Karine Jean-Pierre heads to MSNBC studios to do a victory lap over the most recent GDP numbers. And even during her victory lap tour, she ends up making a complete fool of herself. MSNBC reporter stumps Karine Jean-Pierre. Why is the former president on the campaign trail and not the current president?
But my question is, why is the former president making this case and not the current president?
So I would disagree with that characterization of your question or how it was characterized there. The president has been talking about this almost every day for months now.
Why is the current president not on the campaign trail? Karine Jean-Pierre answers, or better yet, fails to answer. I would disagree with that characterization. This is the new strategy from the copium-hopium Democrats. We saw the same thing employed from Nancy Pelosi a couple weeks ago. When questioned about the Democrats' chances ahead of the midterm as they continue to tank in the polls.
Well, first of all, let me say that I think that much of what you've said I don't agree with. That is to say, the New York Times poll, I think, is an outlier poll.
The new strategy seems to be to just deny reality. Well, that's not exactly how it works. You can't just deny reality. You can't just deny basic truth, but coming from the My Truth political party, the party that coined the idea of living one's truth, living my truth, it's not exactly surprising that they're employing this strategy. Just completely deny basic reality. And leftoids would probably argue, what do you mean, Hive Mind? Karine Jean-Pierre is telling the truth. Yeah, I'm sure she is. I mean, we had clarity on this situation last week. Joe Biden told us everything we needed to hear.
Tim Ryan in Ohio said he doesn't want you there. Warnock said wouldn't say. Do you think they're making a mistake?
No, there are about 16 there I've already gone in for yet, and a lot more are asked. Another 20 or so. I'm going to be going in.
If that incoherent gibberish nonsense wasn't convincing to you that everything's totally fine and Joe Biden is on the campaign trail, well then you must be a deranged right-wing conspiracy theorist nutcase. Now obviously the reality is here that Joe Biden, again I actually don't know what he said there, but something along the lines of he's already been campaigning for 16 or 20 candidates. Well, that's not exactly true. When it comes to the most high-profile races in the most important states, Joe Biden has visited and campaigned for a total of one candidate as of recently, and that's John Fetterman. But of course, Karine Jean-Pierre disagrees with that characterization that Joe Biden isn't on the campaign trail. Well, again, you can't disagree with basic reality. Joe Biden wasn't on the campaign trail when Joe Biden was running for the president of the United States. We all remember when Joe Biden's campaign was calling a lid, or basically shutting down for the day at 9 or 8 o'clock in the morning almost every single day, and even as president, from what we understand understand right now he's on vacation 40% of the time, more than any other president in modern history, and probably more than any president in American history. We just don't exactly have data going back to see what kind of schedule people were keeping up to. The simple fact of the matter is Joe Biden doesn't campaign. Joe Biden doesn't leave the basement, because when he does, it's a total disaster, just like his presidency. And that's why he's not campaigning for any Democrats in these extremely tight races, because nobody wants to go close to this guy, or nobody wants this guy to ruin their shot at getting in Congress or securing a Senate seat. Karine Jean-Pierre rejects the characterization because Karine Jean-Pierre knows what the truth is and wants to avoid the rough and ugly truth for the Democrats that Joe Biden is so deeply unpopular. He's such an anchor. He's like a cinder block attached to your freaking ankle if you're a Democrat running in a purple state trying to get elected. We know the truth. Everybody knows the truth. Even they know the truth. They're just unwilling to admit it, acknowledge it, or say it. They will never speak the truth because that's not the business that they run. This administration, and of course the Democrat establishment, operates in a universe of falsehoods. And that's why when they're pressed on any question, it's either avoid, distract, or outright lie. And with this question, you'll see exactly what I mean by that.
And yet still there's inflation. There's a fear of looming recession. Poll after poll show that voters they trust Republicans more than Democrats when it comes to the economy. What's the administration's response to that persistent view among the electorate?
So first, we have always said we understand what the American public is dealing with. We understand that there are high costs, and we understand that they're feeling very squeezed right now. The president always says this, and you hear him say this all the time, that he wants to make sure that we give Americans a little bit more breathing room, which is what his dad used to say when he grew up in Scranton and dealing with these kitchen table issues. So when the president walked into this administration, the economy was in ruins. It was in absolute ruins.
According to Karine Jean-Pierre, when asked why Americans don't trust Democrats on economic issues, she immediately pivots to Donald Trump and claims that Donald Trump handed them an economy in crisis. I mean, wow. Just wow. That's a strategy, I guess, if you want to keep going with the strategy that's been leading you into a hole. ABC News just did a piece on independent voters in Nevada, and this right here was pretty much the prevailing sentiment.
The economy, inflation, that's a big issue with you. Why?
Because the prices have gone so high.
So were you hoping for a red wave this time?
Yes. Yeah. Things seemed better before.
Well, you guys caused this with your dementia geriatric candidate, with your terrible economic track record and policy track record across almost every single issue, and of course your refusal to speak on the issue, tackle the issues, and your continuous disingenuous blame shifting, as we just saw with Karine Jean-Pierre pointing the finger at Donald Trump. I mean, this is the outcome. Look at the RCP average right now. This is what your current strategy has led to, and if you want to keep going down that path, I mean, if I was employed as a campaign strategist on your side, I would advise you not to, but luckily I'm not, so I'm gonna say, keep on going. From Nancy Pelosi last week claiming that we need to change the subject away from inflation, to Karine Jean-Pierre unable to answer a simple damn question and pointing the finger at Donald Trump. If this is what Democrats think is going to win them election, then power to them. You can do and think what you want. Go right ahead. I'm certainly not gonna stand in your way. All I have to say is good luck, and it seems like the writing's on the wall, and the writing reads.
So were you hoping for a red wave this time?
Yes.
Yeah. It seems almost as if the Democrats have some sort of backup plan, so to speak, or they're essentially admitting defeat at this point, shooting themselves in the foot. It's self-sabotage, whether intentional or unintentional. All I know is there's a reason none of these Democrats can answer a simple damn question, not even once, and it's very simply because the truth isn't exactly beneficial to Democrat causes. We'll leave it at that. Another week, another Brandon regime blunder. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.